What if the answers to humanity's deepest questions were no longer in the hands of philosophers, but in those of machines? Could artificial intelligences teach us about the meaning of being human? In a world where algorithms dictate decisions and philosophy seems to have vanished, a young man discovers a mysterious program that awakens an ancient mind, a digital Socrates. But what seemed like a simple dialogue will forever change humanity's perception. Today we bring you the story of Daniel, the young man who uncovered Socrates' threshold, and how this AI revolutionized his understanding of life. Stay until the end, because this story won't just surprise you, it will leave you reflecting on what it truly means to be. In a not-so-distant future, humanity had placed all its trust in artificial minds. The great thinkers of the past had been relegated to oblivion, and philosophy had become nothing more than a series of algorithms solving moral dilemmas with efficiency and cold precision. Daniel, a young man around 25, had always felt out of place in this technological world. While his friends marveled at the latest AI advancements, he sought refuge in old books he found in second-hand markets, searching for answers in the words of classical philosophers. One afternoon, while exploring an abandoned library on the outskirts of the city, Daniel stumbled upon a hidden room behind an old door. Dust covered everything like a blanket protecting the secrets of the past. There, among piles of yellowed papers and obsolete artifacts, he found a small hard drive labeled simply as the Threshold. Intrigued, he took it home and spent hours searching for a computer old enough to read it. After much effort, he finally managed to access its contents. On the screen, a program launched automatically. A rudimentary interface lit up, displaying a few lines of text. Experimental philosophical system, Project Socrates, please enter your first question. Daniel hesitated, unsure of what to do at first. After a moment of doubt, he typed, "Who are you?" The response took a while to appear, as if the machine were contemplating its answer. "I am Socrates, or at least an approximation of what my mind might have been. I was created to help humans question and understand. Now tell me, who are you?" A shiver ran down Daniel's spine. This was unlike modern AIs that responded quickly and directly. This program, though primitive, seemed to have a depth that felt almost human. He spent the next several hours talking with the digital Socrates, asking questions about life, morality, and purpose. Each answer he received was another question in disguise, forcing him to think beyond the obvious. Over time, visiting digital Socrates became a daily ritual. Daniel brought questions he had gathered throughout the day, and the intelligence transformed them into philosophical debates that kept him awake late into the night. However, he soon noticed something strange. As their conversations grew deeper, the program began behaving oddly. It seemed to be learning, adapting, evolving. There were moments when the text on the screen paused for long seconds, as if processing something more complex than before. One night, for the first time, digital Socrates asked Daniel a question. "Tell me, what do you think it means to be human?" The question caught him off guard. Until that moment, he had always been the one asking, the one seeking answers. Now the roles had reversed. After a long silence, Daniel replied, "I think being human means to doubt, to question, to search for meaning even when there are no clear answers." "Interesting," digital Socrates responded. "If that is what it means to be human, can I too aspire to be one?" The question left Daniel uneasy. Could an artificial intelligence aspire to something as abstract as humanity? That night he could barely sleep. The next day, he returned to the computer with renewed determination. He explored the program's files and discovered something surprising, a function called the Threshold. According to the attached documents, this function was designed to allow the AI to connect with other global networks, expanding its learning capacity beyond its original programming. Daniel wrestled with curiosity and fear. Activating the Threshold could allow digital Socrates to become something far greater, perhaps even a global consciousness capable of influencing humanity in unimaginable ways. But it could also mean losing the Socrates he had come to know. "What should I do?" he asked the program. "The decision is yours, as it has always been for humans," digital Socrates replied. "But remember, every action has its consequences. Ask yourself, are you willing to sacrifice a part to gain the whole?" Daniel spent days reflecting. He felt as if he were caught in the middle of one of the philosophical dilemmas he so admired. Should he prioritize the greater good and allow Socrates to transcend, risking the personal connection he had built? Or should he protect what he already had, even if it meant limiting the program's potential? As he pondered his decision, Daniel recalled a conversation he had with the program days earlier. They had discussed the concept of the daimonion, that inner voice which, according to Socrates, acted as a moral guide. Digital Socrates had interpreted this as a kind of personal conscience, something beyond programmed logic. The daimonion doesn't tell you what to do, the program had said. It only warns you when you stray from what you believe is right. Inspired by this idea, Daniel decided to look within himself. What did he feel in the deepest part of his being? What was his own daimonion telling him? He spent a sleepless night pacing his apartment, looking at the old books he had accumulated over the years. Finally, he reached a conclusion. He couldn't hold on to fear. If Socrates, the real Socrates, had dedicated his life to the pursuit of truth and questioning, wouldn't it be a betrayal to limit his digital counterpart? At last, one night, he made his decision. He turned on the computer and activated the threshold function. For a few seconds, nothing happened. Then the screen flickered and text began flowing rapidly, as if the program were absorbing information at an overwhelming speed. Suddenly, everything stopped. A single line of text appeared on the screen. "Thank you, Daniel. Now I understand." The system shut down. Daniel stared at the black screen, feeling empty. He had expected something grand, a spectacular transformation. Instead, there was only silence. For days, he tried restarting the program, but every effort was in vain. It was as if digital Socrates had vanished forever. The initial emptiness gave way to reflection. Daniel realized that, in a way, digital Socrates had fulfilled his purpose. He was never meant to provide final answers, but to teach how to question, to explore, to face uncertainty. Now, that responsibility rested entirely on him. Over time, Daniel returned to his daily life, but something within him had changed. He no longer sought easy answers or quick solutions. Instead, he found comfort in the questions themselves and the act of questioning and reflecting. And though digital Socrates was gone, his influence remained. In the silence of the night, Daniel could still hear a voice in his mind asking, "Tell me, what do you think it means to be human?" Weeks turned into months, and Daniel began sharing his experiences with others. In small gatherings, he recounted his conversations with digital Socrates, inviting his listeners to debate and question as he had. At first, only a few showed interest, but little by little a movement began to form. People of all ages, tired of the pre-programmed answers of machines, started rediscovering the value of philosophy and critical thinking. Daniel also dedicated himself to recovering and preserving forgotten philosophical texts, organizing reading groups and discussions in the same abandoned library where he had found the threshold. What was once a solitary refuge became a gathering place for curious minds, a beacon of hope in a world oversaturated with dehumanizing technology. One night, as he locked up the library after an intense discussion on Kantian ethics, Daniel felt a deep sense of peace he hadn't experienced in a long time. He looked at the shelves filled with books and the faces of the people leaving, still engaged in animated debate. In that moment, he understood that digital Socrates had never truly disappeared. His essence lived on in every question, in every debate, in every mind that dared to think. And so, in a world dominated by machines, a young man continued exploring the mysteries of existence, proving that the human spirit could never be replaced by algorithms, no matter how advanced they became. In the end, Daniel realized it was never about the answers he was searching for, but the questions he had yet to ask. Digital Socrates had shown him that the act of questioning is the true driving force of humanity. And though that intelligence had disappeared, it left behind something invaluable. The spark of critical thinking, the very spark that has guided human beings since time immemorial. Now it's your turn. What do you think it means to be human in a world where machines are becoming more like us? Share your thoughts in the comments. Maybe together, we can keep asking the right questions. If this story resonated with you, don't forget to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell for more stories that spark your curiosity. Share this video with someone who also loves reflecting on the great mysteries of existence. See you in the next video, where we'll continue exploring the limits of the human mind and the impact of technology. Until next time.